till mark+josh podcast.
So I'm at a friend's going away party on the west side, and a friend of mine came up behind me as I'm about to leave, and he said, "Hey man, do you want to come to this Tranny Strip Party? Don't tell anybody, but do you want to come?" And for some reason, I said yes. And as I was leaving the bar, I just thought to myself, what the fuck did you just agree to? Like, I did it because I don't think I'm transphobic. I don't think I'm homophobic, but I can't tell you any trans friends that I have, or even I have gay acquaintances. Sure. But I can't really tell you that I have a gay friend. So when somebody hit me with the, "Hey man, do you want to go to a tranny strip party?" The masculine side of me was like, I'm comfortable in my sexuality.
I'll fucking show you.
Yeah, I'll show up to a tranny strip party. I'm not scared of that. I'm a man.
I'm gonna come with 6 shooters on my belt.
Yeah. Woo! And so it's springtime. It's 2016. Okay. So April of 2016. And I get home, and I'm thinking to myself, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. It was a Friday night, this party, and he said it was a Sunday night. So he's like, "Okay, I'll hit you up on Sunday." Okay. So I'm thinking it's one of those things that's never going to happen.
Hoping
like the things like paying off your student loans, reconnecting with your biological father, taking a ride on a hot air balloon. I don't think he's really going to call. He's going to call me up on this. You know what I mean? So I get a text message, sure enough, that Sunday, it's like 9 o'clock, super early. And they send me a link, a YouTube link. And I open it, and it gives me more details as to what the event actually is. And it turns out it's not really a tranny strip party. It's a birthday celebration for Jane Marie, who happens to be one of the biggest trans porn stars in the adult entertainment industry. She's a fox, really, who's won movies for like America's. I'm flubbing the names, but you remember I showed you the names of them one time. America's
Got Talent,
top tranny, or tranny cyborgs. Just ridiculous names. You know what I mean? And there's such a market for these movies because it's like tranny cyborg 70 volume. You know what I mean? 75.
Man, where can you take that story?
Jurassic Park is not going to see 75 iterations.
Not at all.
Porn.
There's got to be plot holes in there.
From a filmmaking standpoint, porn is the peak of maximum interest among the species.
Okay, I buy into that. Yeah,
because they're not only like, I bet there's like something out there like Batman and Robin volume 700. You know what I mean? You don't see that with anything else. Like, you might not see a Jurassic Park 10. Like, what is Tremors up to now?
Probably 7 or 8.
Tremors is up to like what, 6, 7?
Sure.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Leprechaun, there's a ton of fucking Leprechaun movies.
Leprechaun
but there isn't like, there's Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun
out.
in Space, Leprechaun 1, Leprechaun 2. I think Leprechaun 3 was when they're like, we're not going to call it 4, 5, 6. We're just going to get weird with it.
Well, you
Leprechaun
can.
in the Hood.
It's Leprechaun in the Hood.
Ones.
Yeah, who cares?
But
there are plot holes, though, after 700 series. I mean, I don't think it's like Lord of the Rings, where the third one is the best and the 700.
I'm not saying that the story holds up.
That's where I'm coming from.
The story I mean, I don't even want to know thematically what's going on with some of those pornos.
There's got to be dialogue flubs for
continuity errors. They're introducing characters.
Plot lines, arcs are being finished.
And they're telling you that they appeared in previous episodes. Yeah. If you come on, like, let's say you're making a porn, like you're doing like a tranny cyborg volume 83, and you're a new crew, do you got to go back and watch like the first 82 and brush up and like study and figure out the characters and the plot? Like, that seems like a lot of work. Like, you want me to make the 80-somethingth movie of this title? Like, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I have that kind of skill.
They bring new actors in and they're like, what's my character's motivation? And it's like, well, you got to get fucked. And really,
the motivations never change, but the characters, the goofs, the slapstick, the slapstick humor that goes on,
the story elements. Okay, so
the YouTube link. Back to the YouTube link. Jane Marie, huge adult porn star.
Okay,
and so this is I guess a celebration for her birthday. Right? You know what I mean? So it's gonna have a bunch of other trans strippers, and they're going to get down,
Have fun.
have
It's a
fun.
party, right?
He sent me the address. It was a strip club. So fuck it, I gotta go. Like I can't back. You know what I mean? Like I can't back. Once you say yes, because here's the other thing too, right? Is he was very like cloak about it. Like he could have been wearing a cloak. Like, hey, between you and me, I'm going to this tranny strip party. You got to keep it to yours. This is a very eyes wide shut type of party thing.
Exactly
like I don't want you. This is very
Was there a code word? Was it
there was no code.
Fidelio?
But I said yes, and when you say yeah, you can't back out now
because then you're transphobic. You can't back out.
Not only are you transphobic, but like your buddy just like he wasn't sure. Like I could tell this dude wasn't sure. Like he wanted to put it out to me. You know what I mean? Because he didn't know if I would look at him a certain way because he's a straight man. You know what I mean? He's not homosexual or anything like that, as far as I know. I mean, he's always had girlfriends. Like, I mean, all signs indicate to me that he's a straight male.
I agree with you.
So, for him to be comfortable enough with me to even invite me, I felt kind of honored. So, just out of respect for this guy, because I'm such a good friend with him,
and he's a great man.
Yeah,
he is.
So, you know, fuck it. You know what I mean? I gotta go. So. This trans strip party is at this strip club, right? And it didn't start until like 10 o'clock. So this was a fucking windy night. This was like one of those shitty fall New York City nights where it's fucking raining.
You get hit,
when you're in this, like, people are like, oh, the city it's so cool. It is interesting, but there are some things that just suck cock. Like the summers where everybody has armpit sweat, and people are trying to wear sports coats and look dignified. And it's like, dude, you're fucking drenched, dude.
It's the worst.
You got to take off the sports jacket, but you can't because this is the world that we're in, this cycle, and we got to impress everybody at all times. You never know who could be looking at you.
Coming home on the 6th, sweaty
Everybody's
businessman.
sweaty.
Sweaty
This is
businessman.
the sweatiest businessman. Fucking the side part, fucking matted to the fucking side of their pale, veiny fucking forehead. So
a night like that.
It was a night like not a night like that, but a night where it was super windy. It was fucking rainy. It was that fast wind rain that just slaps you. It stings, like fucking whips your face, like tassels hitting your face. You know what I mean? And so I come out, and it's Times Square. So I come running out of the subway tunnels. Times Square. I'm with another guy actually that the friend knew very well, and I won't say his name. But there was another guy that I brought because I knew it was cool to bring him, as long as he kept his mouth shut, which I knew he would. That's why I brought him, because at the time I trusted the guy. So we come up out of the subway steps, and we're in Times Square, and the fucking ugly, gross lights, all the big screens, and all those gross fucking lights are just reflecting.
I got
off
sick
the
when you said Times. Like it makes
Times
you feel.
Square. If you don't know what Times Square is, I'm not even going to take the time to tell you what it is, because it's just, it sucks. And a lot of people, I hate to say this, I fear this, but they're coming from all like the Midwest and the West Coast to try to get that New York taste, and they'll go to Times Square, and it's like, dude,
that is not New York.
Is not where you get a taste of New York. Slight digression there.
So now you're headed there
So now I'm headed there
from Times Square,
and Manhattan, dude, it's wild because the route, like where I had to go, like the journey to this strip club in and of itself was just a wild experience that I enjoyed thoroughly. So I'm with the other guy, and we're walking, and we smell. So we're on one of those weird, away from everything relevant places in Manhattan where like the shops end and like the strip clubs start. You know, those weird, sketchy, seedy, like 10th Avenue, like those weird avenues where like all the industrial stuff goes on, like
in the 1980s, it would have been dangerous as fuck.
Would have been dangerous. It still could be dangerous as fuck. I walked past a huge chain link fence, and it was like a sand lot, like a lot, wasn't a parking lot. Okay, and I'm like, that still exists in Manhattan. Fuck. So like we went by this huge, and it felt there was fog. And it was super sketchy, and it felt like the last place in New York City where I could still get beaten to death with brass knuckles. You know what I mean? Like it felt like the 80s. Like it felt like the Michael Jackson bad video or Beat It video with the hand-to-hand knife.
So you were worried they were going to tie you up hand to hand and you were going to have to fight somebody.
Yo, I was going to have to kill someone with a butterfly knife. And I didn't want to have to do that.
Not the guy in the white jacket.
And to dance too, you got to dance and kill a guy with a butterfly knife. The 80s were hard.
Damn.
In the 80s, you had to kill someone and dance while you did it.
That's a
like,
struggle.
People want to disrespect the 80s and call it corny because some like real weird stuff came out of the 80s.
Sure.
Some corny shit did for sure. But you weren't dancing and stabbing people at the same time. And when you stab the other guy, you two have to do a synchronized.
Right.
There's a synchronized. So you have to entertain people, and then someone's got to die.
Right. Well,
don't tell me. Don't tell me Michael Jackson wasn't a bad boy because you have not seen the Beat It video. If you're one of those fools that haven't seen the Michael Jackson Beat It video, you are gonna see tough dudes with really nice hair in leather jackets, dancing, fighting. There was some, and you can feel the tension. There's tension like that. I don't know if you remember the actors, but I'm like, yo, the
guy with the white jacket and the mustache.
These two cliques of people, there's like somebody did somebody in. You know what I mean? Like this is like some shit. Like someone's got to die. Like the kind of level of disrespect. Like we had an honor code. So that's where I'm at. And I'm not going to say that I'm scared per se, but I'm just weirded out because it does feel like 1980s. It feels like, holy shit, like this is like the last dangerous spot in New York City. Because, like even up to like the late 90s, early 2000s, growing up in Eastern Connecticut and listening to rap and listen to what everybody has to say about New York City. New York City was super dangerous. Mm-hmm. Not to say that New York City isn't dangerous now, but New York City is not what it was. It is I've been to some sketchy fucking neighborhoods. Like if I'm the litmus test for how sketchy a place, like if they let me in and don't rob me, like I've been to some hard places. Some places where I did leave like less than an hour later because it's like, pretty sure.
What happened in Puerto Rico?
This is not right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it felt like it felt like one of those last dangerous spots in New York City. Mm-hmm. So we get to the club, and mind you, it's kind of chilly because the wind is strong, and there's a sprinkling. It's on and off. I think it sprinkled when I got off the subway, but then it stopped most of the way, and it was just kind of foggy, hazy. I walk in, and a big black dude opens the door. Like someone like a Debo from Friday, like a bouncer, generic bouncer in any movie, bouncer number one. You know what I mean? Like bouncer number one, big, black, and and I walk in and it's weird for me because people are looking at me like, yeah, this guy likes this stuff. Like this is what he's into, and I'm like, you know what I mean? And it's weird for me.
It's not reflecting.
I feel guilty. I feel like someone's gonna like call me out. Like you're not supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
Like I can sense it in you. So I'm wearing my coat. I'm wearing my my typical winter coat, and I don't want to take it off.
It's protecting you.
It's protecting me. Like I'm at this point I'm super uncomfortable. I'm unsure of myself. I feel like a fraud. Like I'm not supposed to be in there. So I want to keep my coat on. And I walk up this ramp. It's like this little walkway ramp that leads into the actual showroom. And before the showroom, it's very dark. It's dimly lit. But there's a coat check. So I'm jetting up the hallway to try to get to the showroom, and the coat check woman, who's African American woman, who is, you can tell that she's smart and you can tell that she knows how to deal with people. Because she's like, honey, where you going? And just the interaction, like this woman's seen some shit, like she's on fucking point. So she's like, where you going, honey? Come on over. It's super charming. Where you going? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going in. She's like, you can't bring your coat in there. So it was $30 for the coat check.
Whew.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, I have no problem with that. But I jokingly like, hey, I don't want to take my coat off. And she's just like, she like fake laughed and like gave me that look like, sure, whatever. Like, but I just think it's interesting because she didn't realize. It took me a little while to take it. Like I really did not want to take off my coat. That's how uncomfortable I was. And so I gave it to her, paid the money, and I walk up the ramp to the showroom, and I look to my left, and there's a huge bar. And seated at the bar is the dude that I'm there to see, and he's posted up with like all the girls.
Like right in the thick of it.
No, but it hasn't started yet. The room is still dead.
Okay.
Like no one's really came in. It's just like a bunch of like if it was a stand-up show, it's fucking us and a bunch of dickheads smoking outside, talking to everybody while people are coming in.
Okay.
Because the show's not ready to begin. But this dude is cool with we'll call him John. John, because I'm about to say the dude's name every time. So John. John's posted up at the bar, and he's drinking, and he's with all the chicks, and this is how uncomfortable I was, and how uncomfortable I guess I am in my own manhood. All of the women, when I walked in, because I was the first person, they all looked at me simultaneously. And all of those eyes looking at you, and I couldn't make eye contact with them because they were confident in who they were. Mm-hmm. And you could feel the confidence in their gaze. And it made me feel unconfident in my being. And that was kind of eye-opening for me, where I was like, man, I don't know what just happened, but this was strange. Like, I can't even look these people in the eye. So John introduces me to all the girls. They're really cool. They're really funny. And but the show is about to start. So John gets me a drink. He gets the other guy that I'm with a drink. And we walk through the showroom. So the showroom is basically a bar, and then in the middle it's a bar. There was a woman on the turntables. Okay. On the ones and twos. The stage, obviously, and then on the stage in the corners there were big bodyguards, so like more big black men who looked like Debo from Friday. And then in the middle there's like a living room set up. It's like set up to be a living room, a comfort zone. So just a bunch of big comfortable chairs,
just chill.
But then there were like birthday balloons strewn about, just floating, like free floating birthday balloons all through this section. So we go walk to the stage, and John gets the very front seat.
Right in the
middle. If we're at the comedy club, right in the front of the comedian, the dude or gal that's just getting shit on the whole time. Okay. So we go to the very front, sit down, start drinking, and there is an MC who comes out, and he looks like a Jim Norton or like Boy George. Like he looks like a bird, like a bald bird. But he's not bald. He has the weirdest hair. I can only describe the MC's hair as something that belongs on like a Dr. Seuss character. Like he had like a big bird, cockatoo. Yeah. If you like shaved your head, but you just left the middle, there's a middle patch of hair on your head, and it comes up high like those Dr. Seuss characters, like those weird ones. Looks like they have feathers almost protruding from their scalp. So just like Dr. Seuss haircut, and he came on, and I forget what he said. The typical fucking, we're gonna have a hot, steamy night. Oh, God. Everybody, don't forget to tip, and that sort of thing. And then he had the MC with the Dr. Seuss hair had a pink gun. It was like a pink plastic gun, and it shot. It was like a vacuum almost, and he shot dollar bills out onto the stage. Just shooting, I'm making it rain with this gun that just shoots dollar bills. Like the gun
from the Kendrick video where he's shooting it in the air.
Maybe that's what he's using.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I imagine they're just coming out like a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, they're coming out a ridiculous amount, and they're shooting through the air.
That's fucking amazing.
Like a T-shirt gun, but for money.
But for money.
And he did that, and John, who I was with, was already pretty drunk. So when this guy, the MC, was shooting the dollar bills out onto the stage, John was going, money bullets, pew, 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 pew. I'm like, yeah, this is an interesting night. I was laughing when he did that too. And
that's awesome.
So the first dancer comes out. And this is weird for me, right? Because these women, and I'm not saying that they can't be hot, but they are. But this is new to me, so understand. Like a lot of people are gonna hear this and they're gonna want to fucking trash me in this day and age because everyone's a sensitive little bitch.
No, it's good because you're coming to terms with it. It's okay.
And I don't say anything bad. I want everybody. Trans should have their whatever they want. I'm for what is ever gonna make people happy, and I don't want to discriminate against anybody, so I don't. I don't live my life like that. However, I'm not really familiar with that way of life. I accept it, and I wish them well, but this is the first time where I actually had to experience it. So for me, it was odd. So the first dancer comes down. There's a set of stairs. There's a brick wall. The backdrop is a brick wall, kind of like a comedy club. And then the door opens and these wooden steps, and so the dancer will come down and come out. And there's an industrial fan that's blowing their hair around. So the first dancer comes out, and they're playing like The Weeknd, like a quaint, baby, I'm no good. There's something, something, something. I've been something left and right. So coming down, and I'm impressed. This is like a dark-skinned babe who moves well and so confident. Like her hair is blowing, and like I told you, that industrial fan, and the moves. It's like. I don't know this to be true, right? Like, I can't say that this is really what the girl felt, but the way that I felt watching that, I like put a story in her head, and I kind of made the assumption that this woman wants to be a woman so badly that, and feels that way so strongly, that this is a moment of liberation for her because she can finally show off her skin. Now, you could look at it as a perverted, like a totally perverted way of looking at that and be like, dude, that's fucking such a ridiculous way of looking at it. Maybe she's just fucking trying to get paid, and that's what life is. It's just money. Does that make you happy, you cynical fucks? So back to what I'm saying. I'm so in awe by the moves and the confidence and this feeling that maybe she's liberating herself by doing this, because it's gotta be kind of awful to feel like you're something, and the science and society will tell you that you're not. And that begs the question: if you're a white guy, should you say that you're a black guy? And that leads to a whole other thing. And I understand that gets crazy and kooky and satirical. But I think that if you want to have an opinion on this matter, you do need to spend time with these people. For sure. And I didn't even, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I spent time with them because I went to a strip. Like, I'm like a shitty Jane Goodall. You know what I mean?
Richard Attenborough.
Like a Richard, like I'm going in there taking field notes. It's just stupid. There's a better way of going about that. What I did was stupid.
You did what you were comfortable doing. Maybe you weren't comfortable, just barging in and being like, hey, tell me about everything. I mean, you got to ease into this shit. You can't just jump.
And there was also a part of me that wanted to know how I would react to seeing this stuff.
Yeah.
So she's dancing, and as she's moving, I see, and I'm a few drinks in, but I can't tell you with 100% certainty, but I'm nearly positive I saw testicles.
Like fall out?
Like flop out.
Okay.
And I know what you might be thinking, like, isn't it a strip club? Aren't they taking off their clothes? And the answer to that is no. So from all of the dances that I saw, the dancers did not show skin, meaning that they were skimpy, but they didn't show nipples, and there was no vag or asshole. So
fair enough.
The ball swung at what I'm damn near positive they were testicles, and it appeared that she became uncomfortable because her moves started to slow down a bit. She didn't look as aggressive, like the bravado had been lost or something. And again, I don't know if that's true, but that's all I can tell you, what I experienced from observing and what my instincts told me. So we go several dancers through, and I'm not really having a great time. All the women are very attractive, but by a few dancers in, I'm realizing I don't belong here. And what really stamped that for me, what made that 100% true,
was your throbbing erection.
Was not my throbbing erection. It was when we can blur it out.
Well, yeah, that's right. Bleep it out. It was nobody even knows.
So
technology.
So John handed me $1.
Okay.
And wanted me to get up on stage and put it in the dancer's G-string.
Okay.
Easy enough, right? So I don't want to do it. But I get up and I walk to the stage, and I step up to the outermost edge of the stage. And the dancer's looking at me, waiting for me to put the money in her G-string, and I can't do it.
You freeze up.
And she's looking at me and just staring at me, and every once in a while I catch her staring at me, but I really can't make eye contact with her either. So I'm up there for so long that people start booing, men start booing in the back, like, get off the stage, because I was in the way of her. And even the security, the big black security guards, started to make an approach. And I just handed it and went back to my seat.
Jesus.
And just cowered back into my seat like the little bitch that I am. And it was at that point that I realized that if I'm going to learn about the trans community, there's a certain way for me to do that, and it's not
getting kicked out of a strip club. It's not
a
it.
strip club.
Yeah, that's not it.
I'm down to meet with all the girls and talk to them face to face, and then come see their show then. But I just feel like for that to be my first experience in the trans community, it's hardcore.
It is.
I went from French kissing to anal.
I mean, a handshake
immediately.
To anal.
The handshake was anal.
Yeah.
This is a hard end to the subject of I don't know what's appropriate to call it. Trans culture.
I don't know.
I guess.
Just mean no harm, and I don't even know.
So I'm talking to John, and I tell him that we're getting ready. I want to get out of there, and he understood. So I'm leaving with the guy that I'm with, and there's a black guy who's he appears to be homeless, probably 50s, 60s.
Like outside the club?
Outside the club.
Okay.
And he fucking said to me and the guy that I was with, first he asked us for cigarettes, and I'm like, nah, I don't have any cigarettes. I'm sorry. And then he said, hey, what they got in there tonight? Them boys or girls? Like, he actually asked who's dancing in there? Are those men? Are those women? What are those? And I was a good question. That's all I could reply with is good question. He wanted to know what's in there,
you were honest.
Who's in
That's
there,
awesome.
men or women. Great question.
You admitted you didn't know.
I don't think that I can answer it myself.
You didn't know.
Because what I saw on that stage very much so appeared to be a woman. The feeling that I got, the feminine vibe, I don't think you could tell anybody in there that they aren't women. That you fucking, I fucking dare you to do it. Because you can't. You won't be able to. Because you'll know that it's not true.
Yeah.
So, and it was a while before I saw that guy again.
Was it weird,
John? And no, it was look, it was totally fine. It was a good experience. But
what I want to know is how much trans porn have you watched after that? Has that increased?
I just checked out what Jane Marie has going on.
Yeah. That didn't keep with you? You didn't have that knocking in your mind?
It's not my thing.
It's more straight than heterosexual porn. There's an extra set of boobs in there. So it's a dick, a vagina, and 4 boobs, which is...
It's a lot. It's really just the best of all worlds.
It's the most. We should do a quick word of our sponsor, ChristianMingle.com.
Christian Mingle. Are you single? Are you down on your luck? Did you lose all your money in an underground card game? Well, Christian Mingle has a deal for you. If you call, you have to call. Oh, never mind. You just use your cell phone.
No, they make you call now.
They make you call.
It's
now?
a 1-900 number now.
1-900 Christian Singles, and you'll be paired up with older men, more stable, yes. More consistent, more dependable, more loyal.
Mostly priests and bishops and older, men of God. Isn't it?
It is true. It is true. It is mostly they hook these women up with men of God, and there's a lot of women out there that college is expensive, so you need a mentor. And why not have a man who is also your boyfriend, your future husband should also mentor you and groom you. So you need to be spending time with these 50-year-old bishops, these 70-year-old bishops.
These priests,
who
evangelical leaders.
Spent a lot of time alone, meditating, ruminating about the world and
the word of
bigger
God.
Meaning,
they
the
know.
bigger meaning, the why, the what, the how, where are we going?
These are stable
Where
men.
have we been? These are men who ponder some of the world's most wildest, fascinating questions. So ChristianMingle.com is our sponsor. If you're Christian, if you're looking to mingle, you got to be single too.
You got to be single.
You got to be single too. This is
and no gays, right? They say no gays.
They say no gays, but you and I don't believe in that. And we're gonna
sneak it in.
We're gonna speak on behalf of Christian Mingle right now and say that they absolutely will start accepting gays after I get a hold of them. If they don't now, but I think they do. But they will. I'll talk to somebody at Christian Mingle because they better accept gays who are looking. Gays are Christians too,
Right.
And I'm tired of it. I don't want to get into it anymore because our sponsor pays us handsomely, and I don't want to lose out on my fiat.
I mean, this is honestly, it's just a ploy to get minors into contact with older men to help them down the road of God.
Anyway, Christian Mingle. Hey, yo, Christian Mingle. If you're single, if you're Christian, and if you're looking to mingle, christianmingle.com. Hey, get it.
Did this just turned into like a TRL fucking mixtape intro? Yo, check out my new mixtape on Spotify.
Carson Daly.
Carson Daly.
So what's going on with you? Is there anything you want to talk about? You want to get into? You got anything on your gourd?
I got anything on my gourd that has to do with tranny strip party stuff?
Yeah, it could be anything.
Anything on my gourd? You know what
Or do
we
you
should
want
talk
to start
about,
segueing
honestly?
out and do a shorter podcast?
No. How much? What are we on time? How are we doing?
I didn't hit record because I'm high. I looked down and went, no, that didn't happen. It's like, oh, it says 0, 0, 0, 0.
I mean, we're at 30. We're at 33. If my lying eyes are telling me what's right on the computer. You know what? I was thinking we should talk about seriously, Donald Trump, but not like the stupid political ways. I think we should maybe talk about how we feel about Donald Trump. I don't want to get too fucking political, but as
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do us a favor. I'm gonna wrap this up now, and we'll go outside.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that?
Fine. Comes through. I guess we do have half hour, so let's make up an ending now, so we can put that in.
I want to just put out there that Folgers Crystals contacted our lawyers, and there might be a legal battle.
I don't know what we can say on camera.
They were offended that I called them a racist coffee, and they denied it. Although I have documentation to prove otherwise.
There are documents.
There are documents
Yes.
that proves that Folgers Crystals are racist. They think that I don't have the proof, but the proof is in the pudding. So I made some pudding the other night, and I found the proof inside of it. And that pudding happened to be Jello tapioca. Jello tapioca.
The new
Pop
sponsor.
In, the proof is in the pudding, and if you have a legal case coming up and you don't have money for a lawyer and you don't know how to read, or maybe you don't know how to breeze through files and do all kinds of research, you just make up some of that Jello tapioca pudding, and the proof will be inside. So that grocery stores worldwide. Jello, the future of
Do you think
the legal system.
Do you think Jello did anything with Bill Cosby legally? Like they tried to hide it for
Well, hang
years?
on a second. Don't make this conversation veer from our enemy, our new enemy. It used to be our sponsor. They used to pay us, and now we're going to use the money that Folgers Crystals paid us with to sue them in court. Isn't that a fucking bitch, Folgers Crystals?
I like that.
You thought that you were such a big,
I didn't even see
awesome
that coming.
company with a bunch of popular jingles, and now we're using the money you paid us against you. We're taking you to court. They're suing us for libel. You're a racist coffee. I know what you said about the NAACP. I know where you were on the day Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Where were Folgers Crystals? In his cup.
They were in his cup. What was the
What's up
last
with
thing
that?
Martin Luther King drank before he was assassinated? Folgers Crystals. Now, that's damning.
Very much so.
I don't think you can refute that, irrefute that. I don't even.
It's irrefutable.
It's irrefutable.
It's irrefutable.
It's irrefutable evidence against Folgers Crystals. They're a racist coffee.
Hey.
I don't want to go too far. And they also, by the way, they're suing us. There's another case going on. So they're suing us for libel because we call them a racist coffee, but also because we made the claim that Hitler
was fueled by
their coffee,
which
which
is
is 100% true. Folgers Crystals
documents.
was the official Nazi coffee, and I have proof. We have a photo of the first Folgers can ever produced. What was on it? What symbol was on that Folgers can?
Was it a triangle? No, it was a swastika.
It was a swastika.
That's what was all over that.
That's what was
thing.
all over it. There were no health facts. I don't even know if the FDA existed at the time. They didn't give a shit.
They didn't fucking care.
They didn't fucking care. They'll poison you, and they don't give a fuck. And it's still true today. But I digress. Hitler was fueled by these Folgers Crystals because Hitler was He liked a black coffee, of course. No sugar, no cream.
But wouldn't he have liked a lighter coffee?
No.
Flip in reverse.
He's in reverse because he's a
yeah.
man who wanted to taste the richness, who wanted to taste the flavor, who wanted to taste the elevation of each bean.
He knew it.
He knew what was inside each sip of Folgers Crystals, and he knew that it would get him pumped in the morning. How do you think he had that energy? How do you think a guy like Hitler had the fuel, if you will, to deliver those impassioned speeches that
the
just
meth he shot
moved
up every
crowds?
morning?
Not the meth he shot every morning.
The
He shot up
Folgers
Folgers crystals.
crystals.
He would boil some Folgers crystals on a spoon.
Woo!
Shoot it up like
Black tar, baby.
like black tar heroin.
Black Folgers crystals.
Black Folgers crystals. He loved Folgers crystals. So anyway, I just want to, Mark and I just wanted to make a short episode. I think short and sweet because I'm just in a bad mood now, and I don't really want to talk about further topics after we talked about Folgers crystals because I'm just so damn enraged that they would sue us for libel. Well, I'm mad that we lost a sponsor. Now listen to other prospective sponsors out there, like Red Bull,
Jello,
or Jello, or
Audi,
Mystic Pizza 69.
Where did he got that?
Mystic Pizza 3, 4, 5. Any of those, I don't want to lose any Mystic Pizzas. I'm not saying that. But I have to be upfront with our sponsors that we do not believe in racist sentiment.
No.
Now, if I have documentation that you are a racist or you full of hate, I can't fuck with you, and I'm going to call it. Now, you can be my sponsor, but I got to call out what you're doing.
Right.
Like McDonald's, I love McDonald's. But you're poisoning the world. But you could still be my sponsor.
Right.
I'm not bigger than fiat currency.
You got to.
I'm not bigger. You can't be bigger than fiat. Nobody's bigger than fiat. I disagree with McDonald's. You're killing the world. You're making people sick. You're giving people diabetes. Who the fuck knows how much you're costing our health system with your dirty poison burgers?
But you still eat it.
But I think I still appreciate the money of those people, but I'm going to be real about it. So you could still be my sponsor, but I still get to call you out, and it produces this transparency where it's awful what I'm doing, but when I do that, I make it okay. Everybody is pacified by the fact that I'm calling it out,
right?
And they think that that's actual action taking place against McDonald's, but really society just keeps moving on, and you can criticize things, but the criticism doesn't actually propelled itself into an action that actually changes the situation itself.
And we should let our sponsors know the more they pay us, the less we talk bad about them. So if it's a real low number...
Yeah, Folgers Crystals. Folgers Crystals.
Come on.
Were you cutting me decent-sized traveler's checks? Perhaps. Perhaps for some. But not for my greedy eyes.
No way.
I need a little more than that to get by. A little more juice, if you will. So... we're going to be out of here. I want to talk to all the people right now that have been listening. I really appreciate people contacting me and telling me that they like the podcast.
What's your Instagram?
And it's not even a...
You should tell people that now.
I would tell everybody. It's not even like an ego thing. It's that I like the fact that people enjoy an honest conversation, because usually what happens is somebody will hit me up and they'll tell me some real honest stuff. My honesty in the podcast brought out some honesty, and the interactions that you have with people, they're better because you can have these deeper conversations. People feel comfortable and trust you enough to realize that they can go beyond a surface level conversation.
Sure.
And we can talk about how we're all going to die one day and like real shit that we try to pretend.
We're all way
it's
closer
like
to each other
happening.
than we realize. Absolutely.
So that's what this means to me. My Instagram handle is Big Awesome Uncle Hands. I repeat, my Instagram handle is Big Awesome Uncle Hands.
And mine's ML Floyd. If it doesn't work to get a hold of him, you can get a hold of me, and I'll get a hold of him.
And my full name is Joshua Barclay.
Clay.
Barclay. Does this make you happy, sponsors? Because the sponsors are telling us we need to plug ourselves harder. They say you guys make good stuff, but you don't sell yourselves the way that you have to in 2018 to get the kind of following you need, which I agree. So I'm trying to change my ways right now, all you critical fucking corporations out there that want to give me money. So fucking, all right, Folgers Crystals, maybe I do need a brand build, but I just did. I just gave you my real fucking name, which is Joshua Barclay. You can find me on Twitter, Joshua Barclay. I'm a pale blonde dude with glasses. If you don't know what I look like, I look like Lenny Kravitz on a good day when my hair's looking good, my hair's looking right.
Good.
And Mark, if you want to plug yourself real quick so all the sponsors are not going to pull the plug on our traveler's checks?
Our traveler's checks can be sent to Instagram. It's ML Floyd, just like Pink Floyd, because my name is Mark Floyd.
Like the
I
band.
just battle rapped that in there.
Nice.
It was nice.
So
right?
everybody that's been listening, I sincerely appreciate it, and I'm glad some people are entertained
it's
and
awesome.
they feel happy and forget about the bad things that.
Or what if people want to have questions or want us to talk about certain topics? We're down with that, right?
Hit me up if you
Hit
want.
it up.
If you want us to talk about something, hit me up. If you want to be on the podcast, hit us up.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on and have a great conversation.
And if you're like, hey, they'll never talk about that, we fucking will.
If you garden, I have a passion for cucumbers. Fucking let's sit on a few.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. I
We love
appreciate you. I love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.